Let's meet at the library. Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel. The sun is setting, so please ignore this light, but I had to make use of it because I'm ready to film, to edit, to share my reading with all of you. I know it's hard to believe. I feel like I don't remember how to film. So hi. But today we are going to be talking about my June TBR because, one, I have made up my own TBR game. What? And two, WHATEVERATHON is coming up in June. It's hosted, well, lots of co-hosts, but it's created by Maddie at Book Browsing Blog, who I adore. I will have all the info for it linked below, but I am joining the team Comrades of Chaos so that I can read lots of different genres and get lots of points for those genres. So, before I explain how my TBR game works, I can't believe I have one, that's so weird to say, I will mention I have a stack of books beside me that are things that I intend to read in the month of June. They are for book clubs, they are for buddy reads, they are for my own personal monthly challenges, and between all of those things, I'm hoping that I can fit these books into these prompts that we get. But without further ado, let me tell you about my TBR game. So many of you might know this already, but I am a preschool teacher. And one of the things that we talk about a lot in my classroom are emotions. And as a lover of puns, even though I'm not a mood reader, I thought, I can work with this. I can do something with this. And I have created a new TBR game called Mood Read, or Mood Reader, or Mood Reading. I haven't really decided what kind of form of the word read, so sound off in the comments what you think makes the most sense. I think just maybe mood reads? I don't know. If you work in any job where you talk a lot about emotions, you may be familiar with like feelings wheels that you'll see online. So they'll categorize feelings into basic categories like angry, happy, sad, fearful, and then slowly branch out into more specific feelings. Like it could be happy, excited, enthusiastic, you know, like it just gets more specific in those categories. So I'm going to link below the feelings wheel that I utilized for this, and the way I'm going to use it is first we are going to spin a spinner wheel virtually because I'm cheap. And that will pick the main category of feeling. Then we are going to use a random number generator to get a random number for the most in-depth feelings of that category, for which I have written a prompt for every single one. There's a lot. Some of the categories have like 7 or so, some of them have up to 18, so there's a big variety, and I'm just excited to give this a try. So let's do it. Let's spin this wheel. Oh, we got sounds. Okay, I'll just leave the sound. And angry. Okay, so angry has 16 different prompts for it. So let's input that and see what we get. Prompt number 14. It is for the feeling disrespected. Read a lower rated book from an author you love. I think we can make that work. Okay, for disrespected, read a lower rated book from an author you love. I'm going to go with my Shakespeare play of the month, which is Julius Caesar, of course, by William Shakespeare. This only has like a 3.69 on Goodreads, which is not that high. And this is going to be my first time reading Julius Caesar, so I'm really excited to find out what I'm going to think of it. I'm excited to read a history play that is not centered on England, because those are all starting to blend into one play in my mind, and it's getting awfully confusing. So this will definitely stand out in that regard. Okay, Disrespected is one. I'm going to highlight it. I don't have any intentions of like removing any prompts that I've already used. I don't mind if they repeat. However, there's so many, I don't think there's a high chance of any of them repeating. We'll see what happens when we get in that situation. Okay, so there's prompt number 1. By the way, I didn't tell you, we're gonna do 6 of these prompts because on average, like a worse reading month for me is about 7 books. So I think that's kind of a safe bet. Okay, let's get our next category. Is it sad? It's sad, she said in the opposite voice of sad. Okay, sad is another one that has quite a few, I think. Sad has 12. So let's get our random number and prompt number 9. Oh, this is an interesting one. Prompt 9 under sad is empty. Read a book with wide margins. Okay, we're gonna have to take a peek and find something suitable for that. Interesting. It's hard because a lot of the books left on my like mandatory reads list are ebooks and audiobooks, and so I don't really know what their margins look like. So I'm gonna go with one that I just picked up from the library a few days ago on a whim, and that is Fireheart Tiger by Aliette de Bodard. I don't know, it's nice and short, and as you can see, the margins are pretty spacious, and I will tell you that this is a fantasy novella that reads like The Goblin Emperor meets Howl's Moving Castle in a pre-colonial Vietnamese-inspired world. Sounds great. There's a princess, there's an imperial court, there's romance, and there's the fate of a country. That's all I know. I think it'll be fun. Time for prompt number 3. Spin, 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 and we've got bad. The bad category is one of the smallest ones. It only has 8 feelings in it. Prompt number 5, let's see what we have. Number 5 is overwhelmed. Read a book that's a part of a series with more than 4 books. This could not have come in a more perfect time. Wowie, wow, wow. Okay, yes. Okay, for overwhelmed, read a book that's part of a series that has at least 4 books. I'm going to be not only reading, but rereading Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. So I had shared in my story on Instagram how excited I was that Red Queen is finally getting an adaptation. I think TV, not film, but don't quote me on that. And my friend Emma, whose username is Bookish Emma, I will have her linked down below, was like, oh my gosh, yes, I love Red Queen. And we were talking about how we hadn't read Realm Breaker yet, her newest book. And then she was like, oh, but I also haven't read Broken Throne. And I was like, wait, neither have I. And so she was like, do you want to just reread the whole series and we can get to those together? And I said, yes, I do. So I'm going to be reading Red Queen and possibly also Glass Sword in the month of June. I'm also moving in June, so there's a lot happening, but I'm so excited. I really love this. This is one of my favorite YA fantasy series. I know people think it's really tropey, but I love Cal. I love a bunch of these characters, and it's just so good. Yes, yes, I'm really thrilled. Spin number 4. Why am I singing Blue's Clues? I want to get a happy one. Okay, we've got angry again. So let's get our number 16 in there and see if we get number 8, or not number 8 again, number 9. Jealous. Read a book whose main character you're jealous of for any reason. Ooh, spicy. Okay, I'm gonna have to put some thought into this one. For jealous, I'm going to go with our Pastic Classics book of the month, which is A Midsummer Night's Dream, also by William Shakespeare. Yes, I love months where I can read multiple Shakespeare plays. If you're a longtime viewer, you're probably thinking, Julia, this is not a Folgers edition. What's the story here? The story is I'm going to be rereading this for probably the 100th time, and this specific one I am annotating for my friend Mary Margaret from MM's Musings, and she will also be linked down below. All my friends who I'm mentioning linked because they're all great. And I'm just so thrilled. It's a project that I'm doing for most of the summer where I am rereading favorite books of mine, sending them to friends in exchange for an annotated version of one of their favorite books, and it's just so wholesome, and I'm just very, very thrilled to share my thoughts, because I have lots of thoughts about this play. Oh, and the reason that I'm jealous of one of the characters is because they find love. Somebody get me that flower, please. Ooh. 2 more spins. And we have, come on, I want a happy one. Okay, we got Disgusted, which is a category I'm one of the most fearful, and disgusted are the 2 that make me the most nervous, if I'm being honest. Okay, Disgusted only has 7. Let's generate a number. 3. Detestable. Read a book that you think will have a detestable villain. Ooh, okay. Okay, for detestable, read a book that you think will have a detestable villain, I'm going to go with Beneath the Citadel, which I don't know the author's name offhand, but it is the May and June pick for the Ace Space, which is Nana's book club / readathon / whatever that she hosts, that focuses on literature that features asexual characters. And this, I know, is a YA fantasy book, which usually have pretty awful villains, and I think there's heist, but I really don't know much about it. I'm gonna listen to it as an audiobook, so Beneath the Citadel, here's hoping. One last spin. Happy, happy, happy. Just want one happy. It's not gonna be happy. Oh, okay, we've got angry for a 3rd time. Wow. So let's get our number 16 back in here. Generate. Number 6. Infuriated. Read a book that has a trope you don't like. Thanks for that one, Julia. So glad you came up with that prompt. So for Infuriated, I think I'm gonna go with my current audiobook, which I'm extending into June because I'm filming this on the 30th. So I know I'm not gonna finish it tonight or tomorrow, which is Rebel Bride. This is the 2nd book in a trilogy that is historical romance in like the Tudor court of Henry VIII. And the first book had some things that I loved, but I hated the characters. And the 2nd book, which I've already started, I can tell you has tropes that I hate, because it has like hate to love, but not even good hate to love. It has like just arguing and then kissing. And I'm like, hey, try some real communication. Doesn't work for me. So I have hope because I like these characters. Okay, no, I like the main character. I still I need to be sold on the love interest. But I have hope I'm gonna like it more than the first book in the series at least. So yeah, I know it has some tropes I don't like. Okay, so while that covers all of my mood reads prompts, there's more, so let's dive into those. Okay, my oldest TBR book for the month of June. If you don't know, I'm doing a years-long reading project. Every month I go to my Goodreads TBR, I look for the very oldest book on there that I own, and I read it, or I unhaul it. And for June, it is going to be Wildflower by Drew Barrymore, which is a memoir that she wrote, and the cover's so pretty. And I don't really know much of what is the content of it, but I like Drew Barrymore, so I'm hopeful, and again, not too long, which is good. For reading the Renaissance, I'm going to be picking up The Woodvilles, The Wars of the Roses and England's Most Infamous Family by Susan Higginbotham. I have one of my hairs trapped in this book. Cute. So this is nonfiction, but again, not too small. However, it has tiny typeface. So that's one thing. If you're not aware, because I never made an announcement video, my friend Helen and I are hosting a book club that is quarterly, so it's really chill, and it's called Reading the Renaissance. So every quarter we pick a nonfiction book, a fiction book. This quarter it's The White Queen. I've already read it now. And then we pick like some appropriate shows or movies. So I'm going to be watching the White Queen miniseries in June, and also whatever part of the Hollow Crown is relevant. I think Richard III most likely. So yeah, this is about Elizabeth Woodville and her husband King Edward the Fourth. Why did I think it was the opposite? I don't know. And Richard III and all the drama in this family, so should be good. Also, I'm doing my 12 Friends, 12 Books project this year, in which I had 12 friends recommend me books, and I'm reading their books in random months. So this month I'm gonna go with Taylor's Pick, which is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye. She has been chatting this book up forever and saying how good it is, and I'm so excited to finally be getting to it. I know it's a contemporary romance. I know it has I think both a main character and a love interest who are people of color, and I think it has to do with a dating app, and that's all I know, and I'm excited about it. What else? Okay, I also have another buddy read this month, Mary Margaret, who I've already mentioned once in this video, and I had an unsuccessful buddy read, and so we were like, instead of like DNFing this and calling it quits, let's pick something better to buddy read. And so we are going to be reading the entire Narnia series together, starting in June with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So it'll be quick, it'll be easy. It's another reread for me. The whole series isn't a reread, but this one definitely is. And I'm just so thrilled about it. Look at how bright my ear is now that the sun is setting over here. And finally, yes, there's more. I have galleys to get to from NetGalley. Let me double check that this is my only one, and then I will tell you all of them. So a galley that I have through NetGalley that's coming out on June 22nd is How to Tell Stories to Children by Joseph Sorosi and Silka Rose West. And this is nonfiction about exactly what the title says. I'm very much looking forward to it because, you know, as a preschool teacher, I tell a lot of stories to children. So I think it'll be very informational and very like in the readerly spirit, which we love to see. I also have A Girl Made of Air by, oh, how do you say her name? Nadia Hetherington. But that comes out on June 1st, so I'm not gonna read it in time. But if I can finish all these other books, then I will definitely also pick that up in June. I'm notoriously bad at getting my NetGalley arcs done on time. I'm so sorry. Thank you to all the publishers who trust me. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so apparently those are the 11 books that I plan to read in June. I didn't think my TBR was that big, but at least most of them are pretty short. Not you, but the rest of them are pretty short. And a few will be audiobooks. Yeah, I'm just so excited to read so many great books, reread a lot of favorites this month. I've been in a nostalgic rereading mood, so I'm very much looking forward to that. And my goal for WHATEVERATHON I set at 8 books because, like I said, 7 is a pretty normal month for me, and I know I'm going to be busy with house preparation and moving, so maybe this is doable? I don't know. Okay, wish me luck. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on any of these books, what you think about this TBR game, what I should officially name it, and yeah, thanks for watching. Please hit the notification bell so you actually know when I upload videos, because it's so rare. I'm trying to make it less rare, I swear. And you'll be seeing more from me soon, I think. Bye.